unfortunately, 3 successive defeats. Confidence and belief plays an awful big part in football, doesn't it? Have you had to work a little harder with your players this week on that?
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes when you are doing well, it's easier for the manager. When you are not doing so well, you have to think about how to improve things, and especially, as you say, the confidence and the mentality. So normally I used to go to the good things that we did. So we started really well the season. The players, they show commitment, they show the intensity and everything that the fans were expecting. And then we have to remember that, and we have to go back to this first games or at the beginning when we were doing quite well.
So you remind them of the good times, do you?
Yeah, for sure. That is the main thing. So be sure that we take the positive. So I said so many times at the beginning that we were doing so well that it was difficult to keep this momentum. We have some injuries, we have some issues with players, and then at the end, the Premier League is quite complicated, and you make one mistake against a team, and then the next game you lose a little bit of confidence, and the next one seems more difficult. So then you have to remember what you did well and try to stick with these ideas.
Is this a bad time to be facing Tottenham Hotspur? The new manager, of course, comes in. It's his first Premier League game. Clubs often get a lift, don't they? So is that a concern for you, or do you put that to one side?
No, you analyze everything, and then we know that we will play against a very good team. So we cannot forget about that. And Conte is a manager with experience. They have some good players. So it will be difficult. Yes, maybe it's not the best moment because, as you say, with the new manager, they will have an extra motivation. Maybe, but that is anyway the difficulty of this competition. You have to compete against everyone, anytime, and then we have to be ready. So I think that we saw against a lot of teams that we are capable to react, and then even the last game that we lost, the second half, the team showed the commitment that you are expecting, the reaction that you are expecting, so we can do it against Tottenham on Sunday.
Andros Townsend certainly seems to be enjoying his football. Is this the sort of game where he can thrive, wanting to do well against one of his old clubs?
Yeah, I think he's a great professional and he's doing well for us. So these kind of games could be sometimes a motivation for players, and then hopefully will be like that.
Are you pleased with where he is and where Damari Gray is at the moment in terms of how long they've been at the club?
Yeah, I think that if you analyze the past, so without spending any money, these two players, I think they are making a big difference for the team. So the fans at the beginning, I remember when we have some interviews, they were talking about we need wingers and we need pace up front. We were doing that without spending too much. So I think that they are really pleased with the performance of both players. And it's not easy to keep the same level for too long. So hopefully they can continue the same level against Tottenham.
Still no Decore for you, unless you can tell us differently soon. But we saw the return of Fabian Delph in the second half at Wolves. How important a role, if any, has he got to play for you over the coming weeks? Yeah,
I think that we have, at the beginning, analyzing the squad, we have too many players that they were injured for a long time in the past. So that was one of the big issues, to bring players back. So now we have Tosun, we have Delph, Brandwood is coming back. So still we are missing, as you say, Doucouré or calvert-lewin and Yerry Mina, that they are key players for us. But we are bringing players back, and hopefully these players they will have a big part in our success if we can win some games now.
So no Doucouré this weekend, no. Gomez, did you say there, and Yerry Mina? What about Lucas Digne?
Digne is fine, so he has been training, so hopefully he will be available.
But no Mina and no...
No Yerry Mina, no Andre Gomez, no Doucouré, no calvert-lewin, so more or less the problem that we have in the past, and we are bringing players back, but still little by little. That one of the reasons why we appointed a rehabilitation coach is to be sure that we have these players, or they have different options, to be sure that they are fit as soon as possible.
Just finally from me then, how big is this game on Sunday for you, Rafa, and for the club, given the the difficult games that you have coming up after we go into this international break. I mean, another defeat, and that would be 4 on the run, and fans may get a little disgruntled, to say the least. This is really big, isn't it?
Yeah, nobody wants to lose any game, but especially if you have lost 3 in a row, as you say. But I think that the fans, they understand the context, so it's something that we need to analyze carefully. So the context, where we were, where we are, what happened during the summer, players that they used to be injured, and then we need to bring some of them back, and then you put everything together, and you have great performances of the team at the beginning of the season. I remember when everybody was talking about the best football that they have seen for a while, and then now we have these issues with the last 3 games, but I have the belief 100% that we will do well during the season. So I'm 100% convinced, not because I have to say that in an interview, it's because I can see the commitment of the players, I can see the thing that we are trying to change little by little, and I'm sure that we will do it well.
Okay, I think you'll know that Everton are due a home league win against Tottenham anyway, so the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks very much,
Hi,
Alan.
Rafa.
We'll go to Paul Walker, Premier League Productions, please.
Hi, Rafa.
Hi.
You faced Antonio Conte before. Can you tell me, in your view, what is the trademark of an Antonio Conte team?
They used to be aggressive, so it depends on the team that you coach. If you coach Juventus, it's the strongest team in Italy. If you coach Chelsea, it's one of the strongest teams in the Premier League. So normally you have to be aggressive, you have to be on the front foot, and then you play even Inter Milan. So normally these teams, they have to go for the title. So I think he's this kind of manager. He wants to be competitive and win.
What did you make of the appointment?
It's nothing to do with me. So I don't like to see any manager losing his job, but it's not my decision.
And in terms of what you're looking for from your team this weekend, what is that?
What I have seen so many times this year. So a team that can compete, that gives everything on the pitch, that play good football in a lot of games, and the reaction that we have against Wolves in the second half. So something like that. I would like to see this every game, but I have to say again, so we know where we are because we know where we were. So the team has certain characteristics, and then we have to try to improve things. But Roma was not beaten in one day.
Is this a group of players that you've got at your disposal that are the type to stick their hands up and acknowledge the mistakes they've made? Is it that kind of dressing room that you've got at Everton?
Yeah, they know. We have, after the games, we watch clips, and then we analyze what we were doing, and then we start working on that, coaching the players in the way that we want to do things. And we understand that we make mistakes. Set pieces, for example, we are making mistakes. Then we know that we have to improve all these things. And then you have to be sure that the players, they take responsibility too. And this group of players, they are doing that at the moment. So you have to consider if they have the commitment, and I think that they have. If they are keen to learn, I think that they are keen to learn. It's just a question of time that little by little we will put all the ideas together, and we can compete at the same level that we did it. But missing some important players is not helping. So hopefully, if everybody is available, we will be stronger.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. We'll go to Carl Woodward from Radio Merseyside, please.
Hi, Rafa.
Hi.
We mentioned Fabian Delph earlier on. He did play well when he came on that second half. How important will his experience be as well? Because he has won trophies in the past. How big is his experience for the club?
Yeah, I think that it's really important for any squad to have players with experience, and experience in winning trophies. That is quite difficult. So then these kind of players, they can help the players around, the young players, if they are a good example. So then in this case, I think that we are talking about someone that wants to play, wants to do well, and after injuries, coming back with this desire, this idea, this commitment, I think it's very helpful for the team.
And on Damari Gray, started all 10 league games this season. In the last campaign for Leicester and Leverkusen, he's only involved in 14 games, and he went all starts. Would you prefer to rest him this season, but you've not been able to because of the injuries?
No, really. I want to rest him at the end of the season. So he has to play every game if he's available and if he's playing well. So we will see now the next month also, because we have too many games. But if he's available and he's fit, he can make the difference, and then he has to be on the pitch as much as we can. If he's not playing well or he's not working hard in the training sessions, so okay, we can give him a rest. But at the moment, he's a young player with desire, with commitment, and with quality. So we need that.
And Anthony Gordon nearly scored with that header at Wolves on Monday. Do you think he just needs a goal and then more will follow for him?
I think he's doing well. Has gone with the under 21, so I think it's really pleased for him. So he's a player that is growing and is getting better. So he has to go there because he can score goals, and he has to go there and he has to keep balance in his game. But I'm sure that he will do well and he will be an important player for Everton in the future.
And as you go into the international break, how important is it to get a good result so you don't want to be losing 4 games in a row because you've got a 2-week break? Is it more important to get a result this weekend?
I don't want to lose one game, no 3 in a row, 4 in a row for sure. So what I say so many times is that we have to to build a team that has to be competitive in any game. And these games, when you have done not so well in the others, are really important for the confidence of the players. So we have to give everything and be sure that at least we will leave the pitch without regrets.
Thank you, Rafa.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. We're coming towards the end of the open section, so if you do have a question in the open section, if you can please raise your hand now. We'll just take one from Jim Conlon, please.
Hi Rafa, you
Hi.
mentioned about returnees there from injury as well, and recently Seamus Coleman has come back from an injury. In terms of the upcoming period now of games, how important is it to have your captain back, and is he really driving standards in the dressing room now to try and turn around this sort of blip in form that you're having?
Yeah, I think Seamus is a really important player for us, and as you say, it's a crucial time for us because we have so many games coming. Then the fact that we have too many players that they have long-term injuries in the past, we needed to assess that. We needed to control this situation, and then bringing players back like Coleman is really important for us. It's really important to have more bodies and players that can make the difference and players that can be an example for the rest of teammates.
Okay, thank you very much. That's the end of the open section of today's